Well, hello. Guess who got to repaint this lovely dressing table some time ago? I started by, obviously cleaning and priming it. I did not record that part, but I cleaned it and I primed it with some stain blocking primer. I also tested it for lead as well because I had suspicions that it could be like varnished with lead varnish, but it wasn't, so that was helpful. That was good. Anyways, you can see me here apply loads and loads of clay molds. I primarily used this iron orchid design mold called Acanthus. I also used two different redesign with Prima molds, which I cannot remember the names of right now. But if you would like to know what they are, then just drop me a comment below somewhere. So, as you can see, I'm applying the clay. I'm kind of using all different ornaments to create new, bigger shapes. And that's the redesign with Prima mold. Redesign with Prima mold. And here you can see once the clay was all applied on, that's what it looked like. I also reinforced the clay, but I did not record that part. So then I moved on to painting once the clay was all fully dry, obviously. So I painted it using French Chic Alfresco paint in Dazzle Me white color, which was very dazzling. The Dazzle Me was dazzling, what can I say? So 2 coats of that to make sure that everything was fully covered all over it. As you can see, I'm going at it. My favorite part, what can I say? I just love painting furniture. It's so much fun. So much fun. I have to say I used about maybe half of that tin, which was less than what I thought I would need. And I have to say I'm very impressed with the coverage of this white as well. It did help that I primed it with a white primer, obviously, to lighten it all up, but just 2 coats of this was more than enough. And what I do like about this paint is that you don't have to seal it with varnish or whatever. It is self-sealing, and it's good for indoors and outdoors, which is amazing. Okay, so now we're moving on to the dry brushing part. So here I used, again, French Chic Alfresco, but in Greyhound color, which is this very cool gray color. And I basically went over with a semi-dry brush over everything, just giving it a more of a grungy look to add a bit of depth, dimension, add a little bit of interest in the color. You can see that over here I'm going over everything quite heavy-handed, and the stripes from the dry brush and everything, they're quite heavy. You can see them quite well, right? But again, I kind of needed that because I then was gonna go back to white to again go over all of the gray and lighten it back up, so to create a little bit more of like a layered look here, as you can see. So I applied white, then gray, then back to white again. And there you can see my hamster Marshmallow in her little play ball, having a good time. What I did learn through watching back the process of me repainting it is that I definitely like to stand there with just one hand behind my back, like granddad style. I don't know what it means, but it's just an observation that I made about myself during this process. Okay, so once I applied all of my paint, I went in with Rust-Oleum dark wax, which is like a dark brown wax. So a clear wax and a dark brown wax to create this like slight change in color and more of like a warmer tone. So I apply a bit of clear wax and then I apply some dark wax over the top, and then using a cloth I wipe it back, and it kind of makes it so that the dark wax stays in the crevices and creases. Here you can see me going over the whole thing with some really fine steel wool, and I used that to first of all kind of polish out some of the paint strokes that were more, you can feel them a little bit more, and also to create very, very gentle and subtle distress in here and there, like very, very light, and it's not too noticeable, but it is kind of there on some of the corners, on some of the turny bits. Now, these mirrors had quite a bit of corrosion on them. I am not about to re-silver them. That's too expensive. It's too much work, and so on, right? So what do? We get a stencil and glass etch and paste, and we apply some nice stencils over the top to, again, not to mask it, but just to create a little bit of a more interesting look. And here is the finished result in place in the room that it is going to stay in. And I personally love the way that it turned out, but I don't know, let me know your thoughts to this. It was created specifically for this room and I love it. Okay, bye.